guys, Miss Charlie here with my project pan for the month of June into July. We're going to go through what I used again in June and any progress I had, and then what I'm using in July. So we got a lot to go through, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for my primer mist, facial mist, I used the OC Sea Minerals Mist. This is very nice. I got this in a boxy charm. It's all the way down here from up here. And I also use this to set my powders and also to spray any shimmers that I have that I'm using, you know, from a palette or whatnot. So that's the difference there. So what I'm probably going to do is just pour this into the bottle of whatever I'm using for July so I can go ahead and use this up. For my lip treatment, I used the Amia I Donut No lip scrub. Smells really good, tastes really good. And this is how far we are down on this. You only need a little bit. It has a really nice grit, so it's not too coarse, but it doesn't just melt away as soon as you put it on your lips. You can get a good scrub out of it. And then the Chapstick Total Hydration Lip Balm with Sea Minerals. I got this from Dollar Tree. This was all the way to the top, and you see how far I've used this. It was very nice and hydrating. I used it even when I wasn't doing makeup, and also I used it before I went to bed because for some reason, I don't know, the air now is making my lips dry in the evening before I go to bed. So I put this on before bed so you can see how far down that has gone. But those were my lip treatments. For my eye cream, I used the Glow Recipe Avocado Melt Retinol Eye Cream. I love this little container. It's so cute, but I wish it came with a spatula. But I do have a little spatula that I use with it to get this out. And she's almost done. I still got a few more project pans with her, and she's going to be gone. But you will see the weight for this before and after. For primers, I use the No Problem primer from Touch and Soul. I've had this for a long time. This takes a long time to use because you only need a little bit, and it is very pore filling and very smoothing. I really enjoy this, and we are digging at the bottom of this one. Still got a lot in there. And then the Dr. Brandt Luminizer Primer, Pores No More. This one is a very nice hydrating and pore filling primer as well, very smoothing. And there's not a lot in here, but you don't really need a lot. So this will be in a future project pan. I was hoping to use these up, but you only need a little bit of primer. You don't need a lot. So you'll see the weight on both of these before and after. For moisturizer, I wanted to try to use up this specific Dream Youth Day and Night face cream. There's still a little bit in here. I might try to use it up with my next project pan, but then I also have the Laura Mercier Mattifying Oil-Free moisturizer. You'll need a little bit of this. It didn't go down very much because I did switch out. So one day I would use this and I just switch back and forth. But this one I'm going to probably try to put in my July somewhere in there to try to use this up. But for concealers, I have the LYS Triple Fix concealer in DN3, and I used it up. I wish there was more in here because I really enjoyed this, and she's used all the way up. I couldn't get no more out. I even took the stopper out, so I will probably end up repurchasing this one. Then I had the Almay Clear Complexion Concealer. This still has quite a bit in it, and I pulled the stopper out, and then I mixed those two together, and when that one ran out, I pulled in my item, which I really like. This one is in the shade 350. lot in there too, and then I just mixed these to make my perfect shade. I did not weigh this one, but I did weigh this one for you, and then I used this one up. For brows, I still used my concoction that I made with eyeshadows. I still use that. I put a little bit more in there, so I mixed that with the Kat Von D Brow Struck. This is in dark brown. Use that, and then also the Broadway Colors Eyebrow Kit in black dark brown. Got this from Dollar Tree. This is from TJ Maxx. I used that in conjunction, and then also the e.l.f. wax stick, which again I did not weigh or measure because you only need a little bit of this. It'll last you forever. And then the NYX eyebrow powder pencil. This one is in espresso, and we used quite a bit of this, and I kind of like this. But I did also bring in my Wet n Wild a few times because this, for some reason, some days it worked just fine. It would go on fine, and some days it would be a little patchy. So I brought this in. This is my Wet n Wild Color Icon pencil in Sema Brown Now. I love this pencil. This is my ride or die. Get this at the Dollar Tree, and I have backups of this. I use this to line my brows, to lip line, and also you can use it as an eyeliner, so it's multi-use. But I brought that in every now and again when this was being finicky. So I don't know why some days it would go on really smooth and some days it would just be very difficult to work with. But we're gonna keep using it and use it up, and I did get this at TJ Maxx. So these are, these are the brow products that I use for the month of June. For face powders, I use these two e.l.f. This one broke, finally. This is in medium dark. This is a face powder I got from the Dollar Tree. And you can see from the before picture and what you see here, I've used it quite a bit, as well as the Perfect Finish HD powder. I've gone through a couple of these. You can see here as well that I have used a lot of this. I use these mixed together to set my under eye, well, set my whole face. And it's very light, didn't have any flashback. It wore all day, wasn't cakey, anything like that. So again, I don't know what the name of this is because e.l.f. doesn't put names on things. But I got this at the Dollar Tree a while ago, and I've gone through a couple of these. I'm gonna have to get a backup. I get these at CVS when I have a coupon, so, and I have one currently, so I might go and get a backup of this. But these were my powders for June. Okay, for bronzer, blush, and highlight, I use the LYS matte bronzer in Strength. I use this as a contour. I have both of the dark shades, and I use them both as a contour. It's a very nice powder. You only need a tiny bit. It blends out beautifully. And then for my bronzer, I used this. This is a Ulta bronzer that came in a holiday gift set, and I just took out the things that I liked from the gift set and got rid of the rest of it because some of the eyeshadows were not very good. But I kept the bronzer, which was really nice, and I repotted it into a different pan. But this is very nice. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it, not much, because I do like a little bit of a shimmery bronzer, but not too much, and it blends nicely. So I pulled out some singles and put them in this palette to use because I have plenty of single items that I kind of forget about, so I decided to put them in a project pan. These are Ofra blushes that I pulled out. These came in a palette with like 5 or 6 of them, so I just took it out because the palette was a little bulky, so I just put them in an individual Z palette, and then I took these out to use, and I used a warm and a cool. This one is in Fire Orange, and this one is in, if I can get it out here with these nails, I tell you. Come on. This one is in Royal Crush. I always have a cool tone and a warm tone blush in my project pan. Very nice pigment and whatnot, and they go on and they stay on really nicely. And then these three highlighters here are from the Carly Bible, the first Carly Bible palette from BH. I decluttered that, but I loved the highlights in there, and they were like 4 or 5. So I brought these two out. There were 4, and I just repotted them in a smaller pan because they were in bigger pans, bigger than this pans, and I'm like, I don't need that much highlight because I have plenty. So I depotted them into these smaller ones. And then this here is it's supposed to be a blush from IBY that I got in a BoxyCharm a long time ago. I got it and it broke, and they sent me another one, but I didn't need both of them, so I ended up giving the one away, and I kept the broken one, but I repotted it into this, and it's like a pinky gold, but it's more of a highlight on me. So I used this. I mean, look, this is so pretty. This is not a blush on me. It is a highlight. So I use this as a highlight, and then these ones from BH, a cool tone and a warm tone. Oops, wrong finger. So you can see those are very pretty. So those were my highlights for the month of June, and contour, blush, nope, bronzer, contour, blush, and highlight. For my foundations, I used the CoverGirl True Matte Made in T70. I've gone through about 3 of these probably. This is like one of my favorite foundations. And I also used the one in D20 because I mix these together. D20 is a little bit more cooler, and then this one is a little bit more warmer, so I do mix those together. But this wears beautifully. It's non-transferable. It stays all day. At the end of the day, you're not gonna look cakey or anything like that. You're just gonna look like, it's still gonna look natural. I love this, and it's a really good coverage. I pulled in my Tom Ford as well. This is a nice foundation for this time of year. This is the Shade and Illuminate Soft Radiance Foundation, and this is in the color 8.7 Golden Almond. I got this in an influencer. This is cooler than this, so I mixed them together. And of course, I have them in my little container here that I used for the month. So, and also mix it, of course, with my LA Girl foundation mixing drops. But these two are beautiful on the skin together. This is nice during the time of year like now, when there's humidity in the air and your oils come through a little bit more than in the fall. This in the fall I can't use because the air is drier, and this emphasizes dryness that I didn't even have on my face. So this is great during summer, fall, and then this is good all year round. So these were my 2 foundations for June. For liners and mascara and eye base. I used the P. Louise. This is, it felt like it was full in the beginning, but it's really not that full, but there's still a lot in here. So I used this, and you will see the weight before and after. This is a great primer. It makes your shadow last all day. I had no creasing or anything with any of the shadows I used. You only need a tiny bit. It spreads very nicely. I love this. I've gone through a couple of these, and I don't know if I have one more left, but I love this primer, and I will get backups of it. This one is in Rumor 02. I've also had Rumor 03. So this is a good primer if you're looking for one from P. Louise. This liner from Cella. This is a dual-ended liner with black and blue. I don't really use the blue because it is very watery and very sheer. but the black I did use, and this is a brush tip, which I really enjoyed, and it's finally drying up a little bit. She still got a little bit left in her, but she's starting to dry out. So this one I will be getting a backup of because I really enjoyed this liner. And then I also pulled in my LA Color eye marker. This is from Dollar Tree. This is a really nice liner as well. She's starting to dry up too, but I have a backup of this. Sometimes when I go to the Dollar Tree I see it, sometimes I don't. If I see it, I will grab it just in case, because Dollar Tree has that habit of getting things in and then you get it and then you go home and like it and you go back and you can never find it again. So this is a very good liner if you want something cheap and inexpensive. It is a felt tip. This is a brush tip. The Luna Magic, this is a lash primer in pink. This I did use, but it's all right. It does all right. I can't, sometimes depending on the mascara, I can tell the difference, you know, if it gives me more volume or whatnot, but then some it really doesn't do anything different. So I've had this in my collection for a while, so I think I'm going to declutter this one and find a different lash primer. I used to use the L'Oreal one, so maybe I'll get that one back again and see if they've changed the formula. That one is a really good lash primer as well. So this one I'm going to end up decluttering. And then the Wet n Wild Color Icon Pencil in Baby Scott Black. Just a regular pencil. It's soft. It's a little waxy, a little between soft and waxy, which is fine, which helps it stay in place. Get this at the Dollar Tree. It'll last you forever. And then the mascara I used was the Lash Freak from Urban Decay. Really like this. And this is the mini size. I got it at TJ Maxx. You can see the brush, which is very weird, but it works. It works really nicely. So really enjoyed that. And I do have so many mascaras in my collection right now that I have not opened, so I'm trying to use the ones that I already have open, so you might see them repeated several times during these project pans until I decide to open a new one. So in my July one, I think I have one that a new one that I'm gonna try. But these were my pencil liner, liquid liner, mascara, and eye primer. Then lastly, for my setting sprays, I used this Milani Make It Last Flora. This smells so good. You would think Flora, you think, oh, it's gonna smell like flowers. It has a floral scent, but it's deeper, like a beautiful perfume, like a deep floral perfume. Really like this. And we went from here to here. And then this one from the Dollar Tree from Les Merceries. This is their matte finish setting spray. I didn't really see any mattification or anything like that. It was fine. It was just a regular old setting spray. So, but this one, Milani Make It Last, those are really nice and they will make your makeup last all day long. So if you see this at the Dollar Tree and you want something inexpensive and just something to have, you know, maybe to keep in your bag, you know, when you're at work or whatnot, you want to freshen up after work or whatnot, you could throw this in there. And this one I got from the TJ Maxx. I've gotten a few of these collection ones. I have two of the fruity ones from TJ Maxx too, so keep an eye out. And sometimes you can find them in most random places, because I found these in the skincare section, not in the makeup section. So just keep an eye out. You'll find these at your local TJ Maxx. But those were my setting sprays for June. Okay, so those are the things I used in June and my progress, and now we're gonna go through the things that I will be using for the month of July. Okay, so for my facial mist or primer spray, I'm using my Mario Badescu. This one is the lavender, and I just poured it. Oh no, this is the lavender one, yes. But this is also mixed with, I think, the orange one, I think. So I mixed them together because I had a little bit left over. But this is where she is. She's way down here. So this will be used up, and then I'm going to, again, mix this in with it so I can use it up. But that's I need to get a backup of this. I love my Mara Badescu. I've used this for years. Excuse me, years and years. And it's good. It's primer before makeup, setting down your powders, and also spraying any shimmers or whatnot that you have with your eyeshadow. So there's my primer spray. For lips, I brought back in my Chapstick Total Hydration Lip Scrub in Sugar Plum. This is from Dollar Tree. This will probably be used up this month because I want to get rid of that and bring in some different lip scrubs. And then the YC Collection Lip Balm. This is in, Lord, I cannot read that because you see that it's over, the little dot is over the name. So if you can see the Smoothie. Okay. Eyeballs are getting bad in my age, but they just put that over that. It's like, how are we supposed to see that? But anyway, this is a lip balm I got in a BoxyCharm. It's a colored tinted lip balm. It's really pretty. It smells really fruity. So we're going to try her out, and you can see where she is at the top since I haven't used her. And we'll see where I am at the end of July. But those were my lip treatments for July. For my moisturizer and eye cream, this is the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. This is a beautiful concentrated moisturizer. You only need a little bit. This is great in the winter time if you have dry skin, or if you have dry skin all year round. You only need a little bit of this stuff, and it moisturizes so well. My only con with this particular product is it's not really the product, it's the packaging. Every time I buy this, the lid breaks. The base of the product is glass. The top of it is plastic. And if you close it too tight, it just cracks. It just cracks. I don't know why. I've gotten 2 of these, the big sizes, and they've cracked. So I put it in this container because I don't want it to dry out, because it is expensive, but I do get mine during the 21 Days of Beauty for Ulta when they have that. So when it comes back around, if this is in the 21 days, I will pick up a backup, but I put it in here so it would not dry up. But it is very, very emollient and hydrating. And then I brought in my Dermalect eye cream. I love this eye cream, and it has one of those cooling things on it, and it does reduce dark circles. It's a corrector. I love this. I used to have really, really dark circles. My lids used to be really dark as well. But with me using eye cream over the last, I don't know how many years I've been using eye creams, the darkness has gone down and faded, especially when I use a vitamin C eye cream. The darkness has gone down. I still have some, but not as much as I used to, and especially under my right eye, I used to have a lot of darkness on the outside, not so much on the inside, but it has gone down so much using eye creams. I have noticed a difference. I don't have to use as much concealer, you know, because if you try to use too much, it's gonna get cakey, and then with a more mature under eye, you don't want that cakiness to, you know, emphasize lines and wrinkles and things like that. You want it to look really natural. I've noticed that using eye creams has really taken down the darkness in my eye area. So if you're struggling with that, try eye creams before you do your makeup, and also part of your nighttime skin routine. Use an eye cream, because I will use this before makeup and also use it at night during my skincare routine in the evening. So try that. But these were my moisturizer and my eye cream for July. For primers, I brought out my OG. This is the Becca Evermatte. This has been around for a long time. Becca's no longer available, but when I found out that they were going away, I bought a backup. So I have a backup of this. This is still full, and I still have one to use. This stuff you need to use the smallest bit, and you do not wipe this on your face like you do a regular primer like this here from Dominique. You would pump this out, and then you would, you know, massage it into your skin. This is a serum primer. This is very nice as well. I got this in BoxyCharm, and I like that it has a little pump on it, so to make sure you get it all out. This is very nice and hydrating. This is for me to use in my T-zone, places where I get, you know, more oily and whatnot. And you just take it, a little bit of it. It's very thick. That's why you don't want to try to rub it into your skin. It's very thick. And then you just rub it in between your fingers to warm it up, and then you press it into the places where you want it to be. So I press it into my T-zone, around my nose and my chin and things like that. And it will keep that area more matte. So the places where you get more oily, you know, on your high point of your cheeks or whatnot, around your nose, your chin, just rub it and then pat it in. Don't try to rub it in because it'll peel up and it'll ball up, because I had seen so many people use this and they're like, I try to put it on and it just peels up. That's why, because this is very thick. You can't really get it into your skin by rubbing it. You have to warm it up with your fingers and then pat it in. But this, I've used this for so long. But yes, I'm glad I still have it in my collection, so I'll have it for a long time, because again, this is full, and then I have a backup full size of this. I've gone through a full size, I've gone through a mini size, I've gone through samples from Sephora. I've used this for so many years. If you have this in your collection, pull it out and use it, because it is a great product if you want to mattify your skin. For concealers, I have another Becca. This is the Becca in Smashbox. You can still get this through Smashbox. This is the Under Eye Brightening Corrector in medium dark. I enjoy this very much, and I like the color. It does help correct. Again, I don't have a lot of darkness like I used to, but it does help to correct what I do have. And then I brought out the, let me wipe this off. It is dirty. Sorry. The Natasha Denona Transfix Matte Concealer. This one is in 15R. Sorry, my phone was ringing. I'm like, who is calling me this early in the morning? Anyway, this is their Transfix Concealer. So I got this in a boxy drop box, and I took the stopper out so I can get it all out of there. And this is more of a cool toned concealer, so I will mix that with my Tarte. Sorry, these are dirty. That means they're well used and well loved. If they're dirty, if they're clean, that means you ain't use them. Not necessarily. Some people just keep more tidy makeup. But this is the Tarte Ultra Creamy in, this one is in can't read that, Deep. And this still has quite a bit in it, so I'm going to be using that up. I might have to bring something else in, but I'm going to use that up and mix it with the Natasha Denona and the Becca. Okay, for my brow products, I'm going to bring back in my concoction powder, and then I'm bringing in the Cream Shop pomade, and this is in medium brown. This is from TJ Maxx. I really like this. I like this better than the ABH one that I have, because the ABH one is really creamy. This one is in between there, so you can get a good line without it being too creamy, but I really enjoy this, so I brought this back in to line my brows. And then I'll also still use my Wet n Wild one, just in case this one, you know, doesn't work out. And then I have this new Ioni Perfect Brow Mini Kit. I have the other one, and this one I've used quite a bit. This one has a wax in it. This has a brow wax in it, and then the powders. And these are from Dollar Tree, so I figured I'd try it and see, so I can try the wax and then the brows thing, the powders, to see how they work. If they work, you know, the same as this. And then you have like a highlight that you can use too, like to highlight your brow bone powder. So These are the things that I'm going to be using for my brows. For contour, bronzer, blush, and highlight, I have quite a few things here. I have this bronzer here. This is from Makeup Geek. This isn't complicated. Can't get that anymore because Makeup Geek is no longer a brand, but I had a backup of this. I've gone through one and I really enjoy this bronzer, so I brought it out. It's very, very smooth. It's a cooler toned bronzer, really nice just for blending out the contour. So I brought out that single. For my other bronzer, for my contour I should say, I brought out my Cover FX Perfector Face Palette in medium deep. I've had this for a long time. I got this in BoxyCharm. I have used this so many times. I cannot understand why why I haven't hit pan on anything in here. The only thing I don't use is a finishing powder because it is way too red for my skin tone. But I use this contour, I use this blush, and I use all three of these highlighters. They are so very pretty. Let me just swatch it for you. I'll get my towel so I can wipe my hands off. This contour is very pigmented, as well as this blush. It's a nice warm to cool tone. It's cool, but it's got some warmth in it too. But I have other blushes that I'm adding too. And then these highlighters are freaking stunning. Look at that. What? They are just beautiful. And I've used this so many times and traveled with it. This is a great travel palette that I can just, you know, put this with it to go with it and be done and have what I need. Don't have to take another blush. Got all your highlighters, got your contour and your bronzer. You're good. You're good to go. But I brought this back out for another highlight. I brought my Wet n Wild Rainbow highlighter in Bronze Over the Rainbow. I've used this so many times as well. I think I'm slowly getting down to pan. I can kind of see like the little round things in the bottom when you start to get to pan, and you just mix this together. And it looks warm, but it's got a little bit of a coolness to it. As you can see, when you mix them all together, you think it's going to be really, really warm, but it's not. So I brought this out, and then I also brought my Wet n Wild highlighter in Botanic Dream, and this is a really nice, cool toned highlight. Put it over here. That's so pretty. You could use this as an eyeshadow too, or inner corner highlight, but these are all so pretty that I'm using. And then for my other blushes, let me wipe my hands off. I have these ones from Makeup by Tammy. I had the bottle, comes in a pump bottle. These are very pigmented. I gave the bottles to my best friend to see, you know, if she could get some use out of them, because she does makeup on other people from time to time. And then I just kept these for myself. Just put them in this little container. This is an Orange Bloom, and this one is in Candy Kiss. And one's more orange, and one's a little bit more berry. This is all I need. Yeah, you'd like, well, there's nothing in there. You're going to use that up. No, these are very, very pigmented. Very. So I'm just going to dab my finger in here. That right there. That's Candy Kiss. And then for the other one, I'm just going to put my nail in there and just get that much. That much. Okay. I'm just going to put it right here on my arm. So I'm going to put the orange one here and the berry one here. And I'm going to show you. These are very, very pigmented. You don't need much at all. And you would put this on with a sponge See how much that was too much just for that. And the orange is absolutely gorgeous. I love an orange blush. Put this on with a damp sponge. Look at that. That's pigment. That'll do two faces, not just yours. You can do everybody's face on the block with that. So pretty though, and they do last all day. Very nice. But those were my two blushes, and then my highlight. I gotta fix this because it is not correct. There we go. Highlight, contour, and bronzer. For my powders, I'm using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus in Deep. This is a very nice powder. Get this at CVS or any drugstore. Very finely milled, and you get this big container for like $5 or $6. It'll last you forever. This thing is, that's how much I have in there. It's up to here. It's a lot. It'll take you a long time to use it. I have the translucent one too. It took me forever to use that one up, and I do have a backup of it. And then I have the Nakia Joy powder. This is her velvet finishing powder. Smells like vanilla. This makes your face look like a China doll. It has no flashback. It smells so good. But I love this powder, and it will last me for a long time too, because you don't need that much. But I will get a backup of this. Maybe next year this time I will get a backup, because I still have a lot in here. I got this for Black Friday last year, and I have used it in my project pan, and I love it. So yes, I will get a backup of this. But those are my two powders for July. For my foundation, I'm going to use up this Anastasia Luminous Foundation. You can see there's like hardly anything left in here. This is in 370 Warm W, and this is Cool. Their numbers are all mixed up. I have another one, and it says it is neutral, but it is warm. I don't know what they're doing over there, but whomever's naming these colors needs to go back to check their color tree. I mean, their color palette, because this says warm and it is clearly neutral, and the other one I have is neutral and it is very red. But I'm going to mix it with my Infallible 24-hour fresh wear. This is in 510 hazelnut. This is my second one. I really like this, especially this time of year. It's very lightweight, medium coverage, lasts all day. It's a beautiful finish. And this is where we are on that, and you can see those. And I already have them mixed in my little container with my LA Girl. This is a new bottle. Mixed it together, so this is what I will be using for the month. Forgot to mention in my brow, for the brows, I'm going to use my Juvia's Clear Brow Gel. So, and this is about done, so I'm gonna have to get another brow gel, but this is the Juvia's Clear Brow Gel. Okay, for liners, mascaras, eye primer, I'm going to use up this Be Perfect primer. I've had this for a long time. I'm probably going to cut this open and get this out because there's not a whole lot left, and it does have a doe foot. This is a great primer. I got this with the one of the Carnival palettes when they came out, but love this, so I'm going to use this up. For liner, I have this Stay in Line from Hard Candy. This came from the dollar store. It's a nice black liner, really cheap, inexpensive. It has a little smudgy thing on the end, which I don't use. It's really hard. But that's my black liner. And then I also have the Essence Extra Lasting in Black Love. This is very, very soft. Look at that. And it's very, very black, very inexpensive. This is also, it reminds me of the Ioni one from the Dollar Tree. They're both very similar, very creamy. If you don't want to spend $3 on this and you're at the Dollar Tree, pick up the one from Ioni for $1.25. They work the same. Also the Essence Super Last eyeliner in deep black. This is a favorite. I've gone through plenty of these. I don't use this applicator because it is like a felt applicator and it is pretty thick, but I put it on a piece of plastic and I use a eyeliner brush to put it on. But this is a really nice liner and it's not that expensive. And then the Ioni liquid liner, I love this one too. It has a felt tip on it and it is very black and very nice. So those are my liners that I will be using. For mascara, I brought back in my e.l.f. Lash Beats. This will be the last time this will be in a project pan because I've had it for a while. Oops, it's drying out a little bit. Drying out. So yep, she's ready to go. So I will be using this, and this is what the brush looks like. It's very, the teeth are very tiny. I wish they were just a tad bigger, but it's fine. I got this at the not the dollar store. I got this at TJ Maxx for like $2.99. It works good. I like it. And then I'm bringing in a new mascara. How did I get stuff on this already? I haven't even used it yet. This is the Mellow Your Way mascara. This is in black. This is from a BoxyCharm. You can see the teeth on that one are just a tad bigger than the one from e.l.f. But this one, you can change the angle. So if you want to try to get into your lashes this way, or you can angle it, or you can angle it any way that would work for you, which is very, very cool. So this will be my mascara for July, and those are also my liners and my eye primer. Okay, then lastly we have this CAB Cosmetics Hydrating Setting Mist. I have the CAB lip oils. They are amazing. And I also have the CAB Translucent Powder, which is a dupe for the Laura Mercier. Works just as good. But I got this in a BoxyCharm, so I was happy to try this. A setting spray. It kind of looks like the MAC Fix Plus bottle, but we will try it and see how we like it. If you have this and got this in a BoxyCharm, let me know if you tried it and your thoughts. But that's my setting spray for July. I also wanted to include the brushes that I use when I'm doing a project pan. I always have brushes in my project pan as well because I have quite a few that I want to use. So I want to try to give them all some type of love. So I switch out my brushes when I do my project pan. So for June, these are the brushes that I used. I used this one here from Luxie. This is their medium angled shading brush. I used this as nose contour, and these are dirty because I haven't washed them yet, but this is what I use for my nose contour. And I always have a nose contour brush, a bronzer brush, a contour brush, a blush brush, highlight brush, and then I have a brush to if I need to put powder under my eyes or whatnot, like a tulip brush. But this is my little tulip brush that I use for under my eye if I need to add a little bit more powder. If I see a little creasing or whatnot, I can go in with this brush. And this is from eBay. This is a Real Techniques dupe. I've had this for about 10 years. The brushes on eBay are really good, even though they're not the original ones 90% of the time, because I do have some Real Technique brushes that I did buy from eBay years ago that are Real Techniques. I still have them in my collection, and these dupes work just fine. And again, this thing is 10 years old and it's still good. It still works. It's not broken. It's good quality. So I use this tulip brush, this Morphe brush. This is a Morphe, let me see the number here, RG6. This was my blush brush, and I like a a denser brush for a blush brush most of the time, and this is dense, and I like the flat head on it, so I use that for blush. This is a Morphe E61 that I use for my highlight. It's a little dense and it's not too flimsy, so I used that. For my bronzer, I use this BH large powder brush. I think I got this at TJ Maxx. It's very soft and wispy, and it's great for bronzer or powder or whatnot. So this is a nice brush. And then this is a BoxyCharm exclusive brush. I've had this for a few years as well. It came in two different sizes. There's a bigger size of this. This one, it's very dense, very dense. This is great for contour. You could also use this for foundation if you like. I tried using it for foundation once. I was traveling and I left my sponge at home, but I didn't have time to go run to the drugstore to get a sponge, and I used this as a foundation brush. And no, I can't use it as a foundation brush, but some people can use them. I used to use brushes for foundation many years ago, and then I liked sponges way better. So I tried it. I went back, it took me back, and I was like, no, my makeup did not look good at all. I had to come back to the hotel, take it off, and redo it after I went to the drugstore and got a sponge. But this you could use for both of those if you choose, but I used it for contour. So those are the brushes that I used for June. Then the ones I am using for July get out of there. And this one is shedding a little bit. That's all right. This is a Royal and Langnickel brush. You can buy Royal and Langnickel at Walmart. This one, same shape as the other one that I'm using for nose contour. This Luxie 066 Precision Foundation brush. This one I am going to use for blush because it is a bit dense and I like the shape, so this is going to be blush. This Sigma Spotlight Duster, the F37, got this at TJ Maxx. This will be my highlighter brush. It's tapered and it's very soft and it's got some density, so it'll put on highlighter very, very airbrushed like. I got these two in my current BoxyCharm. This is from Farrah. This is their C350 and this one is their C30. This one I'm going to use for contour because of the shape. It's very soft, but it's dense as well. It's not too flimsy. And then this one I will be using for bronzer. It's the same. It's dense, but it's not really flimsy. And I love these handles because the handles remind me of the IT Cosmetics. But those are the brushes that I'm going to be using for July. So I just wanted to include that. I kept forgetting to do that, to include the brushes that I also use. And also I have been using, since I've gotten them, let me pull them out, the Singe brushes from Angelica Nifkist. Hard to say her name, it's Swedish, but I've been using her brushes ever since I got them. And this is a 5-brush set. I've been using these exclusively with some of my other favorite brushes, but I use these every time I do my makeup and they come in so handy. I have a video on my channel using these brushes so you can see how they perform on the eyes, and I will link that below. But I've been using these since I got them, and this was 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago I think when these came out. So I've been using these exclusively with my project pans along with some other smaller face brushes. But I just wanted to include the things that I'm using, the brushes that I use in my project pan as well. Alright, so those are the things I'll be using for the month of July, and then my progress for the month of June. I did get through a couple of things, and then we're going to try some new things out, bring out some oldie but goodies as well. If you use any of these products, please give me your thoughts, how you like them, anything you can suggest me for a repurchase. that would be great as well. But I appreciate you all for hanging out with me. If you like project pans, I do have others on my channel. I'll link them below. If you do project pans, tag me, let me see yours. I love watching project pan videos, declutter videos, stash videos. I like those kind of things. So tag me and let me know. Give me some suggestions. So again, I appreciate you all. Thank you so very much for being here and hanging out with me. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.